goes, now I want you to walk around the room, and who else do you smell blood on? It's like, what? Okay. So I did. So I list the names of people. There were 4 people at that time that I smelled blood on. So this one was stronger. This one was not as strong. She goes, I know what you're smelling. You're smelling people's disease. You're able to pick up frequency about what their health issues are.
Very excited for this next interview of really how you work through trauma, you know, the spiritual component of our mental health. And yes, tell us about yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
So my name is Netzler. I am the founder and CEO of C.H.A. Family Wellness. I'm a provider of acupressure therapy and somatic trauma therapy. So acupressure, so I tell people it is acupuncture with no needles. No needles.
No needles.
No needles, no drugs to help with all types of pain.
Yeah.
You know, like slip and falls, car accidents, wear and tear. I have to add wear and tear in there.
Yeah. Explain to people what somatic treatment is. I don't think everyone knows.
So somatic is a fancy word for body. So trauma that's stored in the body. One of my core message is suppressed emotions manifest as pain. There are...
Ooh, we could have a whole podcast on that.
Right.
And I do think we should stop and talk about that because it's in the mental health space, you know, as far as in traditional medicine, you know, we are kind of told to separate the mind, the body, and the spirit, right? And the spirit is for whatever your, you know, faith center is, and the body is for your primary care doctor.
Like
and then here's your
right?
Yes, but we do. There's all of this science, and even Western medicine knows this. They just don't know how to implement it.
Yes.
That your mental and spiritual health does have a lot to do with the physical pain that you're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that intrigued me was I have to tell like everybody this story is like the heart transplant, you know, when the recipient received the heart. They, you know, Western medicine believe that the brain is the central, the CPU of every memory of everything. But then when the heart recipient starts having behavior that mimics the donor, or when they start having dreams about the life of the donor, or I believe, oh man, I don't have all my data correct, but a little girl who had a heart transplant who has all the information to solve a murder mystery and caught the culprit.
I did see that.
Did you?
I did see that.
Yes.
I think they made a documentary about it.
They did.
For sure.
And so it's like, okay, so if that's the case, the brain is not the only location of memory, not the only location of information. Why is the heart containing that? And that there's so many stories, not just the heart, but the lungs. But then there are different parts of the body. Like in my practice, I see in the hips a lot. Can I tell you a story?
Yes, please.
So I have one story, a 20-year-old walking into my office who has chronic low back pain. So here's the back of my mind, 20, chronic low back pain. But the answer I give, yes, I have a 12-point acupressure protocol to balance the pelvis to help with low back pain. So she goes, okay, so she made the appointment, she got on my massage table. Point number 1, textbook. Point number 2, I looked over and she's bawling on the table. So my mind switched to trauma therapy. It's like, okay, if you're willing to talk about what just came up. She said something happened to her when she was 6 years old. She's been in therapy since she was 6 years old. She thought she was over it and don't understand why all of a sudden it came up.
Body Keeps the Score.
Yes, it
Definitely
does.
a book that everyone needs to read if you're having pain, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I explained to her. There are certain things that is, you know, a certain level, a certain layer. It doesn't mean that all the therapy that didn't do anything. It just means there's another layer that just popped up. And if you're willing, we can work on it. So we did somatic trauma therapy because it was stored in that area, starting in the pelvic area. So I went back and helped her unprocess it, unpacked it, and close it. And so before I went to point number 3.
No, can we rewind a little bit there?
Rewind.
Because I think a lot of times in traditional talk therapy, even in EMDR, people are opening it, but they're not closing it.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how your technique is different and what you do to contain, like process, release, contain so that it doesn't start impacting
So it's
them
not
in other ways.
Pandora's box?
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. One thing is closure. That's very, very important. And so the ways my somatic trauma therapy works, that we go in, I do not need all the details. So we don't, that's one way not to unpack every single little detail to unpack Pandora's box. So I told her, I don't need all the details. I just need like the headline. I just need how you feel, because we're using emotions as the key to unlock the trauma.
Yeah.
So she tells me, like, it made her feel terrified. It was fearful. So she didn't have to go to the actions of what happened. She gave me a snippet of what happened, and then she tells me how she felt. And that was it. I was like, okay, that's all I need, because I don't need the whole entire peanuts coming out. I don't need the whole entire, this wrapped here in the corner coming out. It's like, we want to touch the corner, but I don't want to do it directly. We want to do it indirectly with, how did it make you feel? Fear. Okay, great. You were scared for your life. So one way that I do it is with the platform of forgiveness. And so when we
Which is a trigger word for a lot of people, I have to tell you, right? So I mean, keep going, but I just want to acknowledge people that are listening that sometimes that word forgiveness, I even had a patient recently say to me, as if I was asking them to, like, not have a consequence for their offender, right?
Yes.
And that's not what forgiveness
is.
Yeah.
Yes. I do teach clients about the myth of letting go, the myth of forgiveness. And it's not about condoning what happened. It is so not about saying, oh, they're off the hook. It is about letting go of the power that it has on the client's body, mind, and emotion. That's why, that is the forgive. So if they didn't like the word forgive, I have a client who doesn't like the word forgive, go, what word do you like instead? Do you want the word to use the word cut off? Do you want to use the word let go? Sometimes people don't want to let go. So would we want to say goodbye? Like, which word is better? Because we can use any word, but because the intent is the important thing too.
Right.
Is our intent is to let go, to cut it off. So we don't have to use the word forgiveness.
Yeah.
But the frequency of the word forgiveness is a powerful word, though, that does release things. So for this client, so yes, I do not need anything and everything. I just need the emotions, the headlines. So she did. And so for her, without re-traumatizing her, so for this client, I go, okay, so what is it that you wish you had done instead? And so that is what we can't change the past, we can change the information in the mind. That's what we can do. We can change how the mindset works. We can change how we feel about the event. We can change in how we look at the event, and we can change how we hold the event. And so that's what we changed. We are not gonna reopen everything. So that is what we did. So
now, do you use energy work in that, or what, or just
it depends.
in reframing for them? Okay.
So it depends. So it can be reframing. It can be, so because I am an acupressure therapist as well, so I use, there's a forgiveness acupressure point that adds to it. And so it's in the hand. So one thing I tell about people, this is the oldest healing app, is your hand. And there are acupressure points on your hand that we will tap to let go or to forgive or to cut it off.
So can you share the point?
Yes, absolutely. So you got your hand, you got
Okay,
the thumb,
I'm with you.
the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky. We're going to talk about 3. So we're going to talk about this one.
Okay.
So it's always the inner edge. So
Okay.
that is the location of the acupressure points, the inner nail edge, the medial. So it's on the index, it's on the middle, it's on the pinky. So for this client, so the hardest part was for her to forgive herself, because a part of her blamed herself.
Now, which finger's that? I need that one.
That is the index. Actually, we're going to do that right now. Okay? Because also my platform is speaking, it's imposter syndrome, if they're holding stuff against themselves. So this is a very important one, and we're going to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
So without releasing any details about that client, I'm going to use my own experience, like something that happened, like say, oh, I said something. So in a meeting, I accidentally said this instead of that. It's like, dang it, why did I say it that way? So I'm kicking myself. Why did I say it that way? My mind knows. But anyways, so then for this tap, so we're going to tap, you're going to tap with me.
Okay.
I forgive myself for not saying what I really wanted to say.
I forgive myself for not
saying
what I really wanted to say.
We're going to say at least 3 times.
I forgive myself for not saying what I really wanted to say. I forgive myself for not saying what I really wanted to say.
Now here's the closure. Now this is a demarcation point, acupressure point to close it. We're going to tap it 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So when we're opening up the mind, body, and spirit, the subconscious mind, to let go, to forgive, we do not want to leave it open for subliminal messages.
Right.
So we want to close it with a demarcation point.
Close it. Does it matter what hand?
It does not,
Okay.
because the acupressure, the energy lines are bilateral. So
Okay.
you do this side or this side to signal the command for closing it.
Okay.
So yeah, so the middle finger is for God.
Oh.
For example, if someone lost their mother and there's a part of them that blames God for not curing their mother.
Oh, that's part of my story. Yep.
I forgive God for not saving my mother, or I forgive God for not saving my husband. I forgive God for not sparing my kids. And you say it 3 times. You pick one sentence and you say it 3 times. So pick one.
I forgive God for not. Yeah.
I got you.
Well,
I got you.
because I've done a lot of work in this area.
Yes.
But I want to be authentic in what I say.
Yes.
And I think that the most recent thing is I felt like God told me he was going to heal Reggie, and I misunderstood that, right? And so I forgive God.
So in that incident, is there a part of you that's mad at you for misunderstanding God? Or
I'm mad at myself.
God
Yeah, that's what I did the first time.
for not explaining it very well.
Letting me believe. I forgive God for letting me believe he was going to heal Reggie.
Got it.
I forgive God for letting me believe
Yes.
he's going to heal Reggie.
Yes.
I forgive God for letting me believe he was going to heal Reggie.
Close it.
Close it.
3 times.
Close it. Close it.
Now
I
the
like that.
pinky is for everybody else. For mother, brother, son-in-law, strangers, the cat, the milk, the train, the plane.
Okay.
So everybody else, for example, now I use this for generational curses, for break generational lines. But for the audience, we can say, I forgive that blue Honda for cutting me off in traffic and contributing to my anger.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're contributing. So we want to add
yourself,
emotions to
God,
it.
and others.
Yes.
I like
and
that.
emotions is the key. So once you practice doing the sentence 3 times and tapping, then you want to put emotion in there, because emotion is the key to unlock it, deeper layers. Because when we're just saying, I forgive God for miscommunication, that is very generic and broad. So if we go in and more deeper, I forgive God for taking my son away and contributing to me losing my faith. So then when we add another layer, it's deeper. The release is deeper. And the forgiveness is deeper.
I love that.
So for now, let's go back to my client.
Okay. Oh, we're going to get to you here in a minute, too.
So going back to my client, so yes, so there's multiple ways I learned. So one thing about me, I don't collect purses, I don't collect chocolate, I don't collect shoes, I collect modalities. I collect trauma modalities. And so,
I love that.
And so when I see a trauma modality, I ooh, I need to learn that. So then in my session, I mix and match protocol to whatever the client needs. And so for this client, it was a mix of multiple modalities to get her to unpack it and close it without re-traumatizing. And so at the end, so there were 12-point acupressure protocol. So at the end, before I went to the 3rd point, I asked her, can you check your body for me and see what that did so far? So she got up, twist and turn, and she goes, that's weird. The pain is gone. It's like, yes. We don't even have to go to point 4 through 12 because the pain was gone. Now the icing on the cake was the follow-up appointment. So the follow-up appointment, when she called me up, she goes, I have to tell you something. I know my appointment is coming up, but I have to tell you right now. Okay. So, with that incident, I have nightmares with it all this time. When I have the nightmare, I will wake up kicking and screaming, and sometimes I have a hard time going back to sleep. She goes, after our session, I did have that dream again, I dreamed of the house. When I went into the house, it was empty. I don't know what to do. I go, I do. We're locking that thing up and we're going goodbye. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's like now it no longer has the power over her.
You. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
So tell us about your journey, right? So I always talk about mental strength is not just this grit and resilience that everybody's talking about. It is a journey of insight and awakening. And tell us, like, a time in your life you wish you had more mental strength, and then kind of what unfolded.
How much time we got?
Yeah.
Which one should I tell? Mental strength. It was a lot. Like, how open do you want me to be? How deep are we going today?
I allow people to go very deep. It's really, because obviously it's on YouTube, so it's how deep are you willing to go, how vulnerable you can be publicly. But I think it gives power to people who are listening, because oftentimes they see people, providers, healers, as having it figured out. They don't see the journey.
The iceberg, right? The tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that, as vulnerable as you're willing to be, for sure.
The tip of the iceberg. How much of the bottom of the iceberg do we have time for? So it is like a combination of so many things. Like when I went to school, the two program, Acupressure therapy, Somatic trauma therapy, I almost did not enroll in the trauma therapy program because at that time I'm like, trauma? No, I don't want to work on trauma. I don't want to talk about trauma. I don't have trauma. I don't have trauma. I'm not going to that program. But I'm Asian, so I have this Asian thing for sales, and at that time it was very similar to buy one and get the other program half off.
Or was it God making it, accessible to you?
It was him. But in my mind at the time, it's like, oh man, I can't let go of this cell. It's trauma. Okay, I'll get into it and see. But I'll
help other people.
Yeah. Yes. So if I were to go backwards, like I'm a refugee. I was born in Cambodia. Born in Cambodia during the Civil War, during the biggest genocide of the world history. 1.53 million people were killed through the concentration camp, through starvation, through whatever they decide to do. My parents carried that trauma, and then we were able to escape, and we landed in Houston, Texas. Then we landed in Denver. My dad got a better job in Denver. And so all this thing, my parents had this pursuit of a better life, the American dream, pursuit of, okay, we're in a different land. What can we do here now? From making 50 cents a day, picking garbage from the highway, to owning a restaurant. And so I watched them. They own a restaurant. They own 3 restaurants, actually. And then they are debt-free. They're retired right now. They're debt-free. But here's the thing. Then, even though they're debt-free, financially, they did their grit, their resilience. They have an amazing victory story, but their body doesn't have a victory story at the time.
Yeah.
So I was a caregiver. I took care of my parents. And every year, every time I take them to the doctor's office, it's always a new pill. Then they had surgery. My mom had decompression surgery. My dad has disability. He had fell for disability because he couldn't stand, and that's why he couldn't work anymore. So I'm over here taking care of my parents. It's like, this picture is wrong. They've just tried so hard from the Pol Pot regime. All of a sudden, they succeeded, but yet their health doesn't show it. And so at that time, as their caregiver and as person with faith, I go, God, this picture, there's something wrong with this picture. Send me a specialist so I can take care of my parents, or, don't know why I said this, or train me to take care of them. I don't really remember saying it, but I remember, but not really remember, one of those memories. And little did I know, I met the director of the school at a networking group. And I'm a little bit slow sometimes, only sometimes. Took me 3 years. And then there's part of me that's kicking myself, like, why did I go? But fast forward, I went. At that time, I was a civilian contractor for the Air Force Academy by day. I went to school by night, learning this modality just to help my parents have no desire to open a private practice. And
here you are.
But along that way, my parents succeeded financially because they work all the time. And then I was what they call a latchkey kid. I am at home by myself with my brother, not quite sure what I'm like, ooh, what is life? And my life in Brownwood, Texas was not the best because I was the only Asian in town. It was a white town, so I don't have a happy childhood memory because of that. Now going fast forward to taking care of my parents and then going back to school and then trauma. So when the word trauma comes up, I'm like, we're not talking about my childhood. And then because of everything, then fast forward, it's like, okay, fine, I'll go into, because the one thing that the director says, like, more and more people are becoming more trauma informed. By the time you graduate, by the time you open a private practice, and here's my mind, I'm not opening a private practice, I'm doing this for my parents, but okay, whatever. And so by the time, blah, 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 there will be people seeking a trauma therapist. It's like, there's a sale? Good, sign me up. But, so, I worked on my parents. I used my parents as a guinea pig. I have a daughter at that time. I have a husband, so I used them all as guinea pigs. I worked on them. Then I worked with the student clinic at the school. And my mom said her neck was feeling better. She said her hip was feeling better. And then one day, my mom called me up and said, hey, I need an appointment to the doctor because my head is not feeling well. Then I hear my dad in the background says, why you keep asking her to make an appointment with the doctor? Make an appointment with your own daughter. And I remember that. And like, my dad just approved of what I am doing. It's like, this is working. I actually can help people. I actually can help my parents, which is my number one goal. I actually can help them. And then I'm working on my own family. It's like, maybe this is possible. So then, so one thing is about the school. I learned about myself more than I learned about everybody else. I almost quit the first year because I didn't think I was cut out to be a somatic trauma therapist. Because in the classroom, I have my colleagues like, can you feel how this body is moving? Can you feel how this meridian is like, this one is hard, this one is soft. Oh my goodness, the atmosphere just changed, the body just changed. I'm over here. I felt the HVAC kicking on. So I'm like, I don't think I'm cut out for this. So I did. I almost quit the first year. And then that's when my director threw me into the student clinics. Like, have you collected any hours? Because, you need certain hours to graduate, you know. So at that point, I almost say, I don't care about graduating. I just want the modality. She goes, go work in the student clinic. If I must. My first client was a roof inspector who fell off the roof. Landed on his hip, can't walk straight without using the wall, and his head is spinning, and because he landed on his right side, he cannot lay on his right side. And so that was my first client. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this client? You expect me to do something? So first appointment, and of course the director goes, oh, don't worry, you can text me. I'll be there. It's like, okay. When I was there, the client walks in, director's nowhere in sight, texting her, where are you? No response. It's like, it just happened that pelvic balancing happened to be one of my success stories, keep being my success stories. I just happened to just remember that a week ago, remember all my points for pelvic balancing and all the points for craniosacral therapy at that time. It's like, well, I guess I'll just do what I know. I don't know if that's going to fit the body or not. I just do what I know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did. I did pelvic balancing, craniosacral therapy on him. And at the end of the session, he was just laying there. I'm like, is he dead? Like, what's going on? Did I kill him?
You're so funny. I never laughed so much talking about trauma.
Yes. So fast forward, it's like, are you okay? I'm like, wait a second. You were on your right hand. You were laying on your right hip. Isn't this painful? He goes, yeah, no, it's not. He got up, he has this surprised look on his face. Then he got up from the massage table. He goes, all righty then, see you later, bye. He took off. I'm like, second appointment? Okay, maybe I should quit.
Well, I want to go back to this word trauma, because I think in the space where we've done some work or we've studied it, I obviously have trauma and work with lots of people with trauma. But there is a whole generation of people, probably your parents, one of them, who would say they didn't have trauma. They just worked hard. They didn't have trauma. And I think this is where, the pain syndromes come in. When you talk to people and they come to you, do they know that it's for trauma? Because sometimes I even have to use the word injury. Like because people don't like that word trauma. Like, I don't have trauma, because they think of trauma as physical and sexual abuse.
Yes.
But trauma is,
yes.
Let's talk about different traumas.
There's little t trauma, there's big T trauma, there's trauma that people knows what trauma is. Like, if you go to Afghanistan, there's war, there's bombs, they know that as trauma. Car accident, oh yes, they know that's trauma. Now, the other trauma, when you're raised with all brothers and no one pays attention to you, they don't know that neglect is trauma. When you are raised in a household of alcoholics and drug users and you are neglected and you're not loved, or you're being yelled at, they don't understand that verbal abuse is trauma. So yes, so I do have clients who come in and says, one client will come in and say, Lang, I need help. My world is upside down. I don't know which one of your modalities that I should choose from. And what I say is, that's perfect, because your body will tell me what's needed. You can come in and I'll check on the body, or you can just start telling me your story of your life, and I will, just based on your body reaction, just by looking at you, I can tell which is the next protocol.
Yeah.
So my mind, so when they tell me, like in a discovery call, they tell me, oh, this is what I need help, and I would have my mind, okay, this is what we're going to do, craniosacral therapy, trauma therapy. But majority of the time, when they actually walk in or get them, because I do virtual appointment, trauma therapy can be done virtually. So when I see them, it's like, oh, never mind, we're not going this way, we're going this way. So it's all based on them. So yes, for even those who don't understand what trauma is, if they just come in and say, I just have brain fog. I walk into the kitchen and I don't remember why I'm there. It's like, oh, okay, I know, we're going to work on the brain. We're going to work on memory. And then, or like I have a client who came in today, is like, I don't know how to be happy. So for her, she's like, my life, I think I have trauma, but I'm not quite sure. But I know that I don't have this love or compassion for my kids. It's like, So in my mind, I go, that is a trauma response. But for her, I said, we can work on that. We can find out what's going on. So with her, her story is that her whole life, her parents have never said, I love you, have never given an example what compassion is. And so when I hear her story, and then one of them that the phrase, I love and approve of myself, is what I use to test people to see how much of self-love they have, how much of self-compassion they have. And of course I ask them too, where is the needle at from 0 to 10 of self-love? 3.5. It's like, why not a 4? Why only a 3.5? So tell me when you feel like you didn't love. And so when we go back to stories of her childhood, because even though her mom is in the picture, dad is not in the picture, but when mom is in the picture, mom is not nurturing, mom is not compassionate. So there's no model of compassion. So because of that, we can call that little t trauma. We have a void of self-love, of self-compassion, of self-acceptance, and all maybe sometimes it goes to the other extreme, but they're always looking for acceptance from approval from mom and dad, approval from somebody else. And so because of that, we can say a little trauma, but they don't identify that as trauma. They identify that as, I don't know how to love my kids. And that is trauma.
Well, and you said you didn't have any trauma. It was one of the things that you were like, I don't want to go to that school because I don't have any trauma. I'm not doing
I don't want that
So
program,
what was
no.
that journey for you, like realizing your own trauma and working through that?
Let's see. So for my own self, like I guess I didn't want to face, because I did a testimony once about my suicidal ideology in church when I found Jesus. That's why I found him, to prevent me from taking myself. And so I didn't want to go back because I didn't know if I passed that, if I could talk about that. How much do I need to talk about that in school? It's like,
Right.
Is that, and so when I hear trauma, to me, I didn't even put that as trauma. But the word trauma just has this frequency, like it's going to talk about all the skeletons in my closet. And so...
And Asians don't share the skeletons in their
No.
closet. I mean,
Hearts on the sleeve, we don't have that there. It's behind me.
right. Yeah.
So no, yeah. So raised not, and being a latchkey kid and not having an adult role model in my life, I don't know how to feel emotion. I don't know how to talk about emotion. Heck, I didn't even know how to ask about emotions. Like, support people? What do you want me to do? And so I found Jesus. So that when I went and found Jesus with the church group, with the campus ministry, because I was still in school at the time, that was my very first time to talk about that, like what it was like of being lonely, of being, because I remember that day of, like, I have my parents. I know they love me, but they're not here. They're never here. I have a brother. He's younger, 3 years younger than me, but he doesn't feel my emotional bank account either. He is probably just trying to survive too. And I'm over here trying to survive without a parental figure. And I remember one day, something happened at school. And I don't remember the exact instant. All I know that it triggered loneliness. It triggered the feeling and the belief that if I were to disappear, nobody would know. And so that day, it's like, okay, I almost, then thoughts, when you leave someone all by themselves, the thought just goes run wild. And mine did. Mine ran wild to the point that, okay, well, let's make it happen. Like, why don't you just make it happen? Nobody cares anyways. You have friends who don't even check up on you. You have parents who are not even here. You're here by yourself. Why are you here? It's like, okay, how am I going to do this? So my analytical mind searched. I was in the bathroom floor. I searched everything, and I found a bottle of bleach. I was like, that would do it. That would dissolve me, and I would just disappear. But then there was another voice in my head. What if you're not successful? I'm like, what? What do you mean? Well, what if you corrode your throat, you dissolve your esophagus, but then your stomach is still half eaten by the Clorox, but that's in, you're in the ER and you're in the vegetable state for the rest of your life, and you'll be in pain. I put that bleach back because that was not the life. Even though the life of loneliness is not what I want, but the life of being a vegetable is not what I want either. I don't know where that voice come from. You ask me now, I know where that voice is coming from. Jesus is like, you have a purpose. You're not done yet. I'm not done. That's not the end of your life. I know the number of your hairs. I know the time limit. Yeah, this is not it. But that was because of my analytical mind, because I knew biology. Biology was my degree. And because I knew about the organs and everything, and the idea, the high possibility that that wouldn't dissolve me completely, just one bottle of bleach does not dissolve me completely, stopped me. Now, that did not link with trauma. And because even though I have already gave that testimony at church, it still haunts my mind sometimes because of my lens. Like, because I haven't gone to therapy, even though I know that I'm supposed to do something here on earth, and that I know I'm not supposed to leave here, but it still doesn't erase, it doesn't dissolve the loneliness. So all my life, that's still in the back of my mind. And so when the word trauma comes in, I still didn't put it two together because I still have a compartmentalization, I'm still separating it. And so as I'm going through school, learning trauma, learning how to be more sensitive, learning that I am not crazy when I'm sensing these things. School was where I learned my senses. Like, even though the first year, all my colleagues were feeling this, feeling that, and it didn't click in. And I was mad again, so then I went back to God. God, why am I here? I am not good as my colleagues, I'm not good. Then all of a sudden something changed. I had phantom smell. All of a sudden I was like, okay, yes, I know I have phantom smell all my life. I don't know what it is. But then I start, my senses start kicking in, and I didn't know that I'm supposed to use my senses for this modality. So I did what I was supposed to do. I did a acupressure protocol, and I ignored the smell because I have no idea what that's for. But later on, when I told my director goes, hold on. What does his health history form says? I'm like, why is that important? But okay, let me go pull it up. And she goes, now I want you to walk around the room, and who else do you smell blood on? It's like, what? Okay. So I did. So I list the names of people. There were 4 people at that time that I smelled blood on. So this one was stronger. This one was not as strong. She goes, I know what you're smelling. You're smelling people's disease. You're able to pick up frequency about what their health issues are. For you, the smell of diseases means they're anemic. I'm like, oh. It's like your senses. So what you're going to learn from this school is your senses. You're not crazy. So you can hear things sometimes, and now it's just coming online because I had nobody to talk to when I feel this when I was a child, so I turned them off. And so I'm like, okay, so is this a trauma response? It's like I turned it off. So I'm like, now I'm getting better to understand how the body reacts to what has been suppressed in the past. And I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about what I can detect, what I cannot detect, what I'm understanding.
And what kind of trauma were you able to release? Like, what techniques worked best for you because as you release your trauma, I'm sure your gifts come more to the surface as well.
Yes. So my first step is to talk about it. So my first step was, when we're working on each other, was to talk about it. My next one is to, in a way, to confess, to admit that I was experiencing those, that I experienced loneliness, that I experienced depression, that I experienced all these things that I didn't know was a form that could be labeled as little t trauma. Didn't know the word little t trauma back then either. And then it's then going back to the body, because one thing about somatic trauma is all about feelings, like, oh my gosh, you want me to feel now? And so you have to feel where it is. So for example, when I feel sad and depressed, I feel heaviness in my chest. Don't know why. I feel like it's like there is someone sitting on my chest and compressing on it, and I cannot breathe because they're so strong. And then I learn, it's like, okay, now you have to ask the client how they feel in their body. Like when they feel this, where is it located? When they feel sad, where is it located? When they feel depressed, a lot of times, like the throat area, like my throat, like whenever I were to want to speak, my throat is closed off because of the belief system that no one's going to listen anyways. So my throat is closed off because then now here I am in a school setting where I'm supposed to talk. They're encouraging me to talk, but my belief system's like, nobody's going to listen. I'm not going to talk. And there are times when I have to talk about my childhood where my stomach had knots in my stomach, of nausea, of nervousness. And I'm like, why am I feeling this? And it's because that's where it manifests as.
Yeah.
Because you have stress and anxiety as knots in the stomach area. And then I have throat is all clogged up. And so I'm learning. So not also I'm learning on my colleague's body as they're describing it. I'm like, oh, that's what it means by trauma in the body. Because how you feel, how it's affecting, how it's manifesting as a physical issue, even though it has an emotional root. So as I'm learning about myself, it's like I'm learning about my senses, I'm learning about how I'm feeling in myself, and I have to like, okay, Like all these lies in my head, I have to learn to tell them to shut up, basically. It's like, okay, nope. Yes, that was in the past. Yes, no one was listening to me in the past, but that's not today. So I have to reframe myself. That is not today. Today, so-and-so, this person is listening to me. Today, this person is listening. Today, this person is standing with me and supporting me. So it is not the same as the past.
Yeah.
So I found myself actually at school. I found my voice.
Yeah.
My husband wasn't quite sure what to do with me when I found my voice. My boss didn't know what to do. My boss at the Air Force Academy didn't know what to do with me because I knew something in me changed when I had a meeting with my boss, and the comment was, "You have more courage than before. You actually you just say stuff now."
Yeah.
And then I have a colleague says, "Wow, she is on a roll. She is just like stepping on people." I'm like, am I stepping on people, or am I just pointing out the truth? It's like now somehow my voice, now that it's open, and it's like at the workplace, I'm no longer shy or timid. It's like, oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to rock the boat. Nope, that was not it. Nope, that's not what you said. You said this, but you did this. And then I have a colleague who's like, I didn't think you had it in you to point people out like that. And I'm like, I didn't either. But
yeah. I love the way you said you found your voice at school. That is great.
I did.
So our last question
Yes.
is, what are you currently learning?
What am I currently learning? So I collect modalities.
Right.
Want to know my new modality?
Yes.
Splankna.
Splankna.
Have you heard of
Yeah,
Splankna?
I have, yes.
It's a Christian modality, heavy on Holy Spirit, heavy on prayer, heavy on learning and muscle testing, and then emotion. It also uses emotion as the key to unlock the trauma. So now I'm learning on how to put the spiritual aspect, because before it was mind and body. The spirit aspect was very small. So I was so excited to find Splankna. Now I'm putting mind, body, and spirit together.
Love it. That is perfect. That is a perfect close, because we opened with that, right? Like the spiritual component and the energy work and how trauma just stays in the body. That's great. Thank you so much.
Oh, I feel like I was all over the place. Sorry if I'm all over the place.
No, we stayed on topic of trauma, and we need to do something about the trauma in our bodies.
And trauma is not a death sentence.
Yeah.
Your past does not define you.
Right.
We can overcome it.
Yep.
And there's ways.
Yes.
Many ways.
Many ways. That's perfect. Thank you so much.